As we seemingly without breaks transition from 2023 into 2024, the level of changes happening around us all over the world are now changing at an astronomical level. From solar activities, planetary changes, and now the beliefs of an impending alien invasion.
I've been saying it. I've been saying it for 10 damn years. Ain't I been saying it, Miguel? Huh? I've been saying it.
Most might find themselves asking, when exactly is all of this going to just take a break already?
Leave me alone!
Sadly, it does not seem that will happen anytime soon. If we may add one more nail to the proverbial coffin.
Get 3 coffins ready.
Huh?
There is now a new topic of concern, and it seems to be spreading fast. Now, according to the claims, people all over the world are now openly reporting to having supernatural experiences.
Anyone inside, make yourself known.
Experiences they cannot explain.
Police! Anyone inside, make yourself known.
The idea that people could be dealing firsthand with supernatural activities is nothing new. What is new is the level of reports of it. In just the past year alone, reports of paranormal activity have increased an astonishing 980% worldwide. People from all walks of life are now suddenly finding themselves dealing with what most would prefer to disregard. It would seem the safety of simply hiding behind willfully blind ignorance is no longer going to save them from the truth. What needs to be understood about this topic is that what is hunting us has been around us for many, many years, and the form that it takes usually varies from person to person. But do not believe for a second that you are the odd person out. They are around you as well. Again, it is simply how they manifest themselves around you that contributes to how you are influenced. To the lucky few, you may never be presented with the gift, so many would rather return. If 2023 has taught us anything at all, it is that we now all know there are a lot of very unhappy people in the world.
Police! Anyone inside, make yourself known.
And that, my friends, is what keeps these things fed.
Yeah, we're good.
Like a moth to a flame, so are these entities attracted to people based on their emotional stance. They greatly enjoy witnessing people being angry or in pain. This is generally why an entity will sometimes cling to a certain person. It is not always the home that is haunted. Sometimes it is the residence. Now, according to an unsubstantiated report, word has it, several schools have recently been closed due to overwhelmingly high numbers of paranormal activities witnessed by students and faculty.
More and more schools have been shut down because of stuff happening in broad daylight in front of children. People in their homes are being wounded. See, it used to be scared. People would get scared by stuff, but now people are getting wounded. There are certain places, their police force is overwhelmed with calls because of weird stuff like that, paranormal stuff. And we're talking about people that are being wounded. This one guy, in fact, it happened overseas, it happened in the USA, it happened in Germany, in the UK, and Canada. It looked like they got bit by a serpent. And it left two bite marks, right? Big, huge bite marks with a circle around it with 3 lines in there, just three lines in there. Each one looks like they had been bitten by a serpent or some sucker thing. Each one.
Now, if these reports are true, and paranormal phenomena, and reports of encounters happening at this scale are really happening at this scale, 2024 may not be looking a whole lot brighter. It may be time to really be keeping an eye out at all times all around you. In other words, if you see a potential feeding frenzy beginning to take place in front of you, avoiding that swim may be a good idea. Because right now, those things that watch from the dark, they see us all as victims. The trick is to prove them wrong. So now you may ask, if these encounters are really on the rise, where has any real study been done about those affected by these visitors or others? Well, we're glad you asked that question. It just so happens there has been a recent study done concerning the people who believe they are living with or have been exposed to in one form or another a paranormal experience. A new study published in Spirituality and Clinical Practice explains that an individual experiencing hauntings and ghostly experiences may have what is now being coined haunted people syndrome. Collaborators Jim Horan and Brian Lath, along with other colleagues, recently finished a 5-year research program which culminated in 20 peer-reviewed research papers and their recent book, Ghosted. The haunting phenomena are complex intertwined phenomena, involving personality, ideology, culture, and previous experience towards making sense of an event or series of events deemed hauntings, explained psychologist Brian Lath. Their primary goal was to use research to build a better understanding of hauntings and related paranormal phenomena. Haunted people syndrome was one of the primary theories built out of this research. Lath and Horan propose 4 core features of haunted people syndrome, namely, number 1, the meaning-making or narrative created around haunting experiences is generally influenced by personal backgrounds, beliefs, and personality characteristics.
Allah merhaba. Merhaba sanda. Bir dakika. Sanda. Nerede? Baba. Yukarı. Tamam gördüm. Gördüm bir dakika bak. Gördüm.
Boynuzlara bak. Tamam işte.
Ahmet bu boynuzlu şerşapal bu Ahmet. Boynuzlu şerşapal
Dediğin
bak.
abi bu. Büyük boynuzlu olan.
Burayı koruyan boynuzlu şerşapal bu çok güçlü.
En güçlüsü.
Çok güçlü Ahmet sakın panik yapma bak.
Number 2. Anxiety and distress regarding hauntings are usually a function of the nature, closeness, and spontaneity of anomalous experiences. Number 3. It is believed distress and unease make anomalous experiences more likely to occur. Number 4. Anomalous experiences tend to be contagious. In some cases, anomalous experiences have been known to spread to others. According to the researchers, many of the reports of hauntings and the people involved in them can be understood by treating the events as symptoms. Just like symptoms of the flu, the severity of the diagnosis is a function of the degree and rarity of symptoms and their length, explains Lath. Another important predictor of anomalous experiences is transliminality. As a concept, transliminality refers to the boundary between the conscious self and unconscious self, as well as the outside environment. In parapsychology research, it has been associated with extrasensory perception, out-of-body experiences, and visionary-like experiences in general. When trying to understand the factors that prime an individual for a haunting episode, the researchers found that hauntings were almost always a mixture of the right person within the right environment. The researchers also draw attention to the pressing need to recognize and treat ghostly or paranormal experiences as real. Lath points out that ghostly episodes and people's described demonic encounters and the overall high number of strange paranormal experiences have been well documented throughout history. Furthermore, over 100 years of modern empirical psychology shows that, whatever they are here and apparently have been since the beginning. Therefore, the people who experience them should take the experiences seriously, as the haunted people syndrome model suggests. The nature of such experiences can be shocking and sometimes anxiety-provoking to the individual. Any denial of such experiences is not beneficial to an individual's well-being. Clinical professionals certainly do not tell people with anxiety or depression that their experiences are not real or valid, highlights Lath. At the very least, haunted people syndrome is a valid cross-cultural, commonly experienced phenomenon and should be treated as such. For anyone who has experienced a haunting and might be struggling to come to terms with it, Lath has the following advice. In these sorts of experiences, knowing that your experience is actually not uncommon and has some predictable components is often helpful, he explains. According to Lath, whether people choose to interpret anomalous experiences as paranormal or not, they do not have to feel alone or crazy for having gone through them due to the following reasons. Number 1. Having just one paranormal experience is extremely unlikely. According to previous research, long histories of a variety of subtle and sometimes overt paranormal experiences are common. In other words, sometimes when an entity realizes you are susceptible to their advances, they will stick around for a longer duration of time, especially if they are able to continue to instill fear in you. Number 2. Anomalous phenomena tend to be both subjective and objective. The internal aspects of the experience include sensed presences or somatic touches or marks, whereas external aspects include objects moving or apparitions caught by technology. Obviously, this is the most controversial characteristic of haunted people syndrome. But we would note that our model remains predictive regardless of the reader's personal preference for mainstream or paranormal explanations, clarifies Lath. In the future, the researchers hope to start exploring transliminality in the context of religious and ritual practitioners, who regularly and purposely invoke these types of phenomena with the use of chants or Ouija boards. We strongly suspect these groups have developed significant mental processes and methods for facilitating their transliminality toward spiritual and experiential goals, Lath explains. Further, we hope to test and further confirm the haunted people syndrome model, both in case studies as well as collaborating with clinical psychologists, to address how to include and incorporate haunting and religious experiences into meaningful and beneficial therapeutic experiences, if possible. The idea that science is now taking paranormal experiences seriously should not only get your attention, it should downright worry you.
Anyone inside, make yourself known.
Are paranormal activities really on the rise? And if so, why? That should be the question on all of our minds.
Police! Anyone inside, make yourself known.
This has been the Confidential Report. For even more stories like this one, make sure to subscribe to our channel today. And please show your support by clicking the like button on this video. For even more stories and news you deserve to know the truth about, follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you for watching the Confidential Report.